Most business owners struggle to scale because they're blind to their numbers. They spend more money on ads, hire more closers, and try to push more sales, but they don't know what's actually moving the needle. That's why I'm giving you a free $100 million ads projection tracker that's going to instantly help you track and optimize your ad spend, close rates, profit margins, so you can know which numbers you need to be hitting to hit certain targets. By the end of this video, you're going to know how to track key metrics that drive revenue, identify weak points in your sales funnel, and optimize your lead to sale conversion rate. And yes, you can copy this exact spreadsheet for free using the link below. So let's dive into it. Cool. So the way this works is here at the top, we have our monthly ad spend. And in this example, we're going to use $100,000 in monthly ad spend on Facebook ads, right? And let's just say our cost per lead is $50 per lead. Right here on the right, we have certain targets we want to be at, but let's just say currently we're at $50 per lead. That means with $100,000 of Facebook ad spend, we're going to get a total lead count of 2,000. And let's just say out of those 2,000 leads, 10% of them actually book calls. And this could be from them self-booking or a setter booking that appointment. Then that means we're going to have 200 booked calls. And our cost per booked call is going to be $500. And let's just say our show up rate for this example is 60%. In general, we want to be in between 60 to 75% show up rate. So let's just say we're on the lower end here, 60%. That means the total taken calls that our sales reps are going to have is 120 sales calls. And if their close rate is 20%, then that means that the total sales is going to be 24 and our cost per acquisition is going to be 4,167. And why is this important? Because from here, let's just say you're spending 5,000 a month on ad spend and your cost per lead is, let's just say 30 because your ads are a lot more efficient. Then that means we're going to have around 17 booked calls a month. And then you can start reverse engineering. Okay, if I have 17 booked calls a month, and I'm closing 20% of them, how much commission am I going to pay out to my sales reps? How many sales reps do I need? What can I expect as far as targets for that month? And that's why looking at these specific metrics are super crucial. And most business owners actually fail to realize that at the end of the day, it's a numbers game, and not numbers as in I need to take 1,000 sales calls to make profit. It's a numbers game as in if you know your cost per lead, if you know how much you're spending a month, if you know your close rates, your show up rates, you know at the end of the month how much you should be taking home. Right? And let's just say these are our metrics, but we see that our show up rate is actually going to be very low at 20% show up rate, right? And if we know that we're at 20% show up rate, right? If we're at 20% show up rate, our target, like that benchmark, right, 60 to 70%, then we know right off the bat then our show up rate is the issue for us not making the money we want to be making, right? Or let's just say our show up rates are good, but our close rates is terrible. It's at 5%. Then we know there's something wrong with the marketing or the sales process or the sales reps not able to handle objections, right? Maybe we're not attracting the right people. Maybe the sales reps aren't trained. But at this point, if people are showing up and we're getting all of these booked calls, but we're closing terribly, then we know what might be the issue, right? But there's tons of times where people will have a terrible show-up rate, let's just say 20%, but they're trying to solve a different problem. They're trying to train their sales reps, but what they should be focusing on is how can I get more show-up rates? How can I get my show-up rate up, right? So then if we keep going here, let's just say, so we keep going here, this example, so we keep going here, our total customer value, let's just say for a lead is $10,000, right? We have a $10,000 product. Then our cash to revenue ratio, that's saying out of those $10,000 on average, we get 60% of that up front, right? Sometimes they do a deposit, okay, I'm gonna pay $6,000 now and then pay the rest over 3 months, 4 months, whatever, right? So then you have a total cash collected number, you have a total revenue collected number. right? And then you also have a revenue return on ad spend and a cash return on ad spend, right? And then here, what's pretty cool is now we're also calculating how many sales reps and closers do I need. So for this example, let's just say we are spending $50,000 a month. Then we need about 2 closers, right? Because each closer can do 60 calls a month. And here we have that we're taking 100 calls a month. Then that means we do need 2 closers to be able to distribute those calls evenly, right? And then from here, what's really cool about this sheet is a lot of people fail to realize that they also have to take into account what is our sales rep getting paid for all of these deals, right? If you have a terrible commission structure, not only are your sales reps not going to be motivated, but you won't be able to actually calculate your margins and your profit at the end of the month. So in this example, the closer's commission is 8%. Let's just say the commission is actually 10%. So then that means our closer is going to get paid out $20,000, and from the $200,000 in revenue that we're collecting, after ad spend, after the commission, we're going to profit $130,000, and our margins are going to be 65%. And these types of margins are really doable for some type of coaching program where there's not a lot of upfront costs to fulfill the service. So by knowing these numbers and really getting clarity, and even just figuring out what are your current numbers at this current stage, you'll be able to reverse engineer which metrics you need to be hitting to make a certain amount. So if we go in here and you go ahead and use this sheet, and let's just say we keep that 50,000 ad spend, or let's just say 20,000. You can tweak these numbers, the blue cells here, to be able to figure out how much are you going to be profiting and making for that month. So if you want this exact sheet, make sure to click the link below, copy it, and use it for yourself so you can get an idea of your current metrics and what you should be tweaking and setting goals for you to be able to hit your revenue targets. So if you like this video, make sure to click the subscribe button and stay tuned for more marketing and Facebook tips.